Hey guys, it's Chris at the Ultimate Recycler. I picked these two units up from the transfer station the other day when I took some old e-waste stuff out that I didn't want. And even though they're just CD players, I thought I'd just bring them back because they're fun to scrap out. But these ones are quite heavy, and given that Marantz I've always known as being very good quality, and Rotel, I have a suspicion it was a good brand. I'm not totally sure. But what I thought I'd do is we'll do a bit of checking on eBay, see if they're worth doing anything with. I'll plug them in the tester and see if they go. Clearly they've been in shed storage for some time, and someone decided that they were just going to be rubbish and they threw them out. So if nothing else, we'll scrap them. But if they're worthwhile, we'll test them and see if they go. I don't have remotes with them, unfortunately, but it's worth a check. And look, I haven't done any research, and with these videos I'm going to start videoing everything without any pre-checking so that you're seeing it pretty much and discovering things just as I am. If it turns out to be totally boring, well, I won't ever show the video. So if you're seeing this, it means that we either had a bit of fun scrapping them or they turned out to be quite good units. So first step is just to check the model numbers. I'll do a bit of a search on eBay to see if they're worth mucking around with. There doesn't appear to be any damage to them, so other than the fact that there's no remotes, you know, they might, at very least, if they go, I could put them in this shop and get a little bit more for them than what they're worth scrap wise. But if they don't work, we will scrap them out. So I'll check them out on eBay and see what we can find. Okay, the first one was a Marantz, and it was model CC52, and that's all I'm going to search. I won't search CD player or anything. We'll just start with the basics. And oh well, you can buy a remote for them, so that's handy, but we need to know if the actual unit is worth anything. There's one at 5 discs, so it's the same, no remote, and they're looking for $152. Now they're in the US. Let's go, we'll narrow our search just to Australia. And there's nothing in Australia. Let's go to completed items because that's going to tell us any value. And here we go. Here's one that's sold for $125 with no remote. Now that's interesting. Refurbished. So they're in Victoria, so they're in my state in Australia. And fully serviced by us qualified technicians. So all right, so that it's a good goer, but they don't have a remote for it. But anyway, that's a really good sign. So this one obviously is still sought after, even though it's sort of old technology. It's just a CD player, nothing flash as far as what it does, but it's clearly good quality. $125. It was a buy it now, I think. Let's just go back. Yes, it was a buy it now price. So there's no guarantees that it would get to that again. It might have just been one person that was keen on that model, but it's certainly worth checking to see if it works. Overseas, there are a few there. Now, that one sold for $182 in the US. Best offer. That's a CD 52. Ours is a CC, so some different models. But anyway, I've seen enough. We certainly need to check that one out to see if it works, because even if it's not worth eBaying, I could certainly sell it in the shop, but I think it'd be worth throwing onto eBay. If it works fine and it cleans up well, I could probably put it on there for like $80 and just go fishing. I'd certainly be happy with $80. Of course, there's fees involved, and it does cost a bit to post because it's heavy. Anyway, that's enough on that one. We know that that one's worth doing something with. Now we'll search for the Rotel, which I don't know much about. I just vaguely remember hearing the brand sometime in my lifetime, and I had a feeling they were a good brand. RCD 965BX, complicated model number. So we'll have a search for that. 12 items overseas. And it looks like they all sell $100 with 22 bids. Now I always like to see an auction with lots of bids, because you know there's just not the one person that wants it and you know don't really know the value, you've got people here competing, and that's usually indicative of an accurate market value. That's in the UK. Alright, so clearly this is a good unit. They've all sold. Right, there was none in Australia though. Let's go to live auctions to see if there's any in Australia. There's none, but there are parts available, although they're overseas again. So that's, I've seen enough with this, and again, we clearly know that it's a sought after unit. It's better than your average run-of-the-mill CD player. So, all right, next stage is to get them on the test bench and see if they work. All right, we'll start with the Marantz unit. So we'll power it up for the first time and see what happens. Okay, that's promising. We have lights. There was a little bit of a motor noise. I think we've got to eject. A nice smooth operation there. Now we'll put this CD I've got here is just saxophone music. We'll put that in CD spot 2. And I'm not sure if it senses it or we have to move it to disc 2 position. Don't know. Disc select, we'll press that one. Alright, that's selected disc 2. Now, before we push play, I'm going to turn my vintage amplifier on. And we'll see if we get some music. Nothing at the moment. Here we go. Looks like it's playing. Oh, hang on. No, we're plugged in. Should be right to go. Tuner. We need auxiliary. There we go. Beautiful. Now we'll do a skip. Going to track 2. That sounds awesome. Alright, stop. All the controls appear to work really well. So, look, I think that's just fantastic. Sounds beautiful. I shall give it a bit of a clean up now. And I think I'll just leave it play. Put a couple of discs in to make sure it selects the disc spot okay. And I'll just leave it playing for a few hours while I'm doing some jobs. And that should be a good one then to throw on eBay, and we'll see what we get for it. Right, so let's see if we have the same sort of luck with this Rotel unit. Power it up. Alright, something's going on there. And what have we got? Open, close. Oh, okay, we have an issue there. The door looks like it's stuck. Alright, I'll take the cover off and we'll just see if something's jammed in there. Okay, I've moved it onto the other bench. The screws are out of the cover. Let's see what's going on. Alright. Well, I thought there may have been a disc jammed in here, but there's not. It's nice and clean inside. And it's certainly much more complicated than the modern CD players, so must be a pretty good quality one. Alright, so I'll plug it back in and we'll just see if we can work out what's happening with the tray not sliding out properly. Alright, we should have power now. Yep. And we'll see if we can identify what's happening or not happening when we try and open the door. We just have a buzzing. Oh, hang on, here we go. It shouldn't be sticking up here. That's a drive belt. And it's clearly broken. That's the trouble with older items that use rubber drive belts, which most of the older stuff did. The rubber perishes and they just break. Alright, I'm going to have to do a bit of research. It's certainly worth getting another belt from the prices I saw on these items. if that's all that's wrong with it. It's well worth buying a belt and fixing it up. Now, since I can manually move the pulley and the sensor switch is trying to help, or it's trying to click the motor in, which it is, but the motor's obviously not driving because there's no belt. Anyway, I can drag it out by hand. I think we can probably put a CD in there and just make sure it's actually going to play. We'll just have to manually operate the tray. Alright, the same saxophone CD. Push it in. Here we go. So that appears to be working. And it looks like it's playing. Very good. Well, I'm going to take it back to the other bench now and plug it into the amp and the speakers and just make sure that it actually plays and all the other functions work. And if the only issue is this rubber drive belt, I'll try and order one, but I have a box of assorted ones I'll pull out of CD players. I might be able to find one that actually fits it. We'll do a test anyway to make sure we can play some music. Alright, we're back on the other bench. We'll fire up the amplifier and we'll hit play. Fabulous. And pause. Yep. We'll go to the next track. All good. So it's excellent. It's in good working order. We've just got to fix the door mechanism. So we'll hunt around for a belt, and if we can find one online cheap enough, we'll get one ordered, and then we can clean this thing up and put this one on eBay as well and see how we go, make a few dollars. So I did a search on eBay overseas, and I found a belt, and it's a pulley wheel as well, which I don't think we need. Unfortunately, the price is almost $30 Australian dollars, and from the US they're asking $32 shipping, so that's making it about $60 really just for the belt. I'm not prepared to spend that much, but I did find a website called Web Spare Parts, and they have a lot of belts for all sorts of CD players and vintage gear, and there's the one here. Suits my model, and looking at $11.61 with free postage, so that's a huge difference. So for that price I'll register with this crowd, because there's a chance I might be after more belts down the track. So I'll register, and hopefully I can pay with PayPal, and it's probably going to take quite a while to come here from the US. In fact, I think there's a note somewhere. Here we go. Expect delays due to the coronavirus pandemic. So I'll just order this belt, put this unit aside. I'll give it a bit of a clean up, and then we'll get it together and we'll eBay both of them, and we'll see how we go. So the mail from Portugal took about 6 weeks, which wasn't too bad really considering everything that's going on. And we have a nice little presentation. It's obviously a very professional company with our new belt included. So that was excellent. Very happy with that. Now we just have to fit the belt, and then we should be right to give it a proper test, and then we'll work out some eBay listings. Now to fit the belt, it looks like the motor part comes out really easily, although we probably don't even really have to, because I can get the belt around the end of the motor pulley easily, but getting around this pulley, it goes through a housing there, and there's a gear on that end that drives the carriage, the tray. So I think we might have to take the front panel off to access this area. Hopefully the pulley either lifts out or at least provides access for the belt to go around. There'd be an easy way to do it, so I'll just take the cover off and we'll see what we can find. So I've removed the front panel, and I've had to take the screws out either end of the metal panel to free that up, or at least to give it a little bit of movement, and that allows me to get the stops free to slide the carriage or the tray out further. And it frees up, as you can see there, it frees up the gear drive on that pulley. Easy access now to slip the belt over the pulley and over the motor pulley, and then we'll reassemble. And I've got a few other jobs to do in here today, so I'll put a CD on and we'll give it a decent test. A quick door operation test before we just finally assemble the cover. So power on, door open, beautiful, and closed, nice and quiet. The new belt's working perfectly, as you can see. Excellent, time to put the cover on and select a CD. And here's both the units tidied up, ready for sale. I've got them on eBay now and I'll show you that in a second. They both performed flawlessly. They've cleaned up pretty well. A little bit of scuffing on the top of the Rotel. And there is a little bit of sort of scratching along the aluminium piece there and at this end. Remembering this was actually thrown into the e-waste bin out at the transfer station, so I'm surprised it hasn't got any more bumps and bruises. But anyway, they're in excellent operating condition. They're pretty good cosmetically. I'll show you my eBay listings. And here's my eBay selling page. You can see that the Rotel has actually had 2 bids now. They've been on for 10 days. They've only got a couple of days to go. They both got a bid fairly quickly, and they've been accumulating watches very quickly. So they clearly got a lot of interest in these 2 models. So we've got 6 bids on the Marantz. That's just gone up this morning. I didn't even notice that. So 152 on that one. There's 20 watches, and there's 2 bids on the Rotel with 31 watches, and that's at 112.50. So that's excellent. I was not expecting them to actually have much competition. I thought I'd try them at 100 each, and that's not including postage. Now we'll just click on the Marantz one, because this was the heaviest, and you can see that I've done lots of good pictures here. eBay really works well if you use it well with lots of pictures and a reasonably detailed description, everything I basically know about it. I've got pretty good feedback. I've been on eBay a long time and I maintain it 100%, so that gives buyers confidence. So that's saying that postage to within my local area would be $26.50. If it was posted to the other side of Australia, that postage figure would probably be about $50 or more. So it's certainly getting up there in dollars. It's obviously a sought after unit, and the Rotel is not quite as heavy, slightly smaller postage amount to my local area here. Again, that would be more expensive interstate. And the description there, I've described that I had to replace the drive belt and mentioned the scratches. So I think I've done pretty accurate descriptions on them. So we'll just wait the last couple of days and I'll show you what they made. And my auctions have finished. There was a lot of sniping action right at the end. And have a look at these prices. I'm very happy, of course, with this, because you all know my my costs for these items. Absolutely zero. Rescued them from the dead. 12 bids, $222 on the Marantz and 22 cents. Now, I've actually logged out of my eBay so that you don't see the winning bidders, just to protect their identities. So I'm not logged in as anyone. And to find these 2 then, I actually searched within 10 k's of my local postcode, and I just searched CD player. So that's an excellent price. I didn't actually expect that one to go anywhere near that. I did expect the Rotel to get a little bit more because they are a more unusual brand, but a high-end brand. Now, I do have to declare that $191.50, the guy that won that actually messaged me and said he pressed the wrong button, which was a little annoying. So I sent a second chance offer to the next bidder, who was most happy, and I offered it to him at $170, which was about his maximum bid. Well, actually he bid higher, but that bid got him 1 increment over the 3rd top bidder, which was a fair thing to do. So 170 and 220 is 390. Now, if we took away say 10% to cover eBay and PayPal fees. $3.90, say $39. So $350 we cleared on 2 items that were thrown out to the e-waste. So very happy with that. I'm quite pleased to have repaired this one as well. Not that it was a complicated repair, but it's always satisfying to do that. I'm sure the winning bidders will be very happy. Should get some good feedback from it. They'll get great units, and we've saved them from ending up in the e-waste recycling scheme, and even worse, they might have ended up in landfill. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this. I'll do some more of these. I love using eBay. It's a good way to help me make a living, and it's a great way to market specialist items like these. All right, we'll catch you in the next video.